Hey everybody, it's Sheila J. Davis with LeapfrogVANetwork.com, your virtual assistant connection specialist. And basically what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the top 5 mistakes that clients make when they're hiring or working with a virtual assistant. I want to be able to help you through these so that when you know that your business is ready for a virtual assistant, that you won't have any problems. You can get someone on board right away. So let's go ahead and just talk about what those top 5 mistakes are. The first is cost. The second is you. That's right. So you better be sure and take and listen. Protection, follow-up, knowledge, and I have a bonus 6th mistake for you that a lot of people make when they're working with a virtual assistant. So you want to stay tuned for that and be sure and listen up for that one. So let's go ahead and just dive right in and talk about mistake number 1. Now, mistake number 1 is more like, it's not really a mistake as much as a misconception. So a lot of people think, when they're hiring a virtual assistant, how much does a virtual assistant cost? And the first thing they do is they start looking around and they say, wow, I can hire a virtual assistant for $2 an hour, or wow, look at this virtual assistant, they charge $75 an hour, and there's the whole range all the way in between. And how do you know how much a virtual assistant is going to cost? Well, you get to decide, because you are going to determine what your company can budget for a virtual assistant, and that's what your virtual assistant is going to cost. So if you can budget $250, $500, $1,000, whatever your company can budget, that's how much your virtual assistant is going to cost. So when you're considering hiring a virtual assistant and you give a virtual assistant a call, the first thing that you should ask is not how much do you charge? Because number 1, virtual assistants don't always charge what they're worth. Virtual assistants sometimes charge more than they're worth. So you are going to take a look and you are going to decide what skills you're looking for, and you're going to find a person with the skills, the experience, the references that you need, and then you're going to tell them, look, this is my budget, this is what I need done, what can you do for me within my budget? And then you just go from there. And so you get to decide what your cost is going to be. So the first thing you're going to do is figure out how much you can budget each month for that virtual assistant, and that's how much they're going to cost. And if you tell them your budget, they're never going to go over that. So you don't have to worry about, oh no, my virtual assistant bill is going to be coming in this week on Friday. I'm not sure how much it's going to be. You're already going to know, because you've already worked that out with your VA and explained, this is my budget, this is how much I can afford, and this is what I need you to get done for this budget. So just first thing you need to do is go ahead and figure out your budget, and you'll skip over mistake number 1. Mistake number 2, that's right, it's you. A lot of times clients go to virtual assistants and they're not prepared. And if you aren't prepared, then your virtual assistant can't help you. And that's sometimes where the mistakes fall through. So get yourself a great project management system, Teamwork PM, Basecamp, Trello, Podio, I think it's called Podio. There's a lot of different project management systems out there. You could even use Google Drive and just make your list of tasks that need to be done. Make a list of subtasks that need to be done if you need to. Set your time frame of when you need them done by, how long you think it might take you to complete that work, because chances are your virtual assistant can do it a little bit quicker than you. So that's another reason not to worry about your hourly rate, is that they have different skills than you, and you need to spend time with your clients. So figure out what you need to do. And the way you're going to do this is that for the next 2 weeks, you're going to write down everything that you do. You're going to write down, checked my email, made a plane reservation, needed to create a WordPress page but wasn't sure how to do it, so that didn't get done. Or I'd like to set up my email marketing. I'd like to have my blog post done. I'd like to just write the blog post, have the VA edit it, put images with it, and post it for me. So you're going to do that for the next 2 weeks. And over the next 2 weeks, you're going to have a really big list. And then the first thing you're going to do is you're going to cross off all the things that only you can do. So basically, you can interact with your clients, you can create your products, but maybe your virtual assistant could send some canned responses to people who maybe aren't quite your ideal client. Maybe they can go ahead and make your product look beautiful and set up your sales funnel for it, or create a web page for it. Excuse me. So you can do all of those things. You're going to cross off the things that only you can do. Then you're going to circle the things that you don't know how to do, because those are really the key ones that you're going to look for a virtual assistant who really has that skill. And then you're going to put a check by the things that you don't like doing, but you know how to do, and chances are your virtual assistant knows how to do, like clean out your email every morning, schedule your flights and things like that. And so then when you go to your virtual assistant, you have those items circled, and you know those are the skills, those are the platforms, that's the knowledge you need your virtual assistant to have. And then the things that are checked off, that's just stuff that's the fluff. That's the stuff that any virtual assistant could do for you. And maybe you're going to hire 2 virtual assistants. Maybe you hire a virtual assistant to do the things that you circled, and you hire one to do the things that you checked off. And so then you have a little team going, and you've got one doing, the general work, and maybe they charge a little bit less. And you've got somebody that takes the higher skills, and they're doing the higher skills. So couple different ways that you can do that. Now, I'll give you some more information on how you can find out more about how that works a little bit later. But get your project management system set up, get your list of things that you need done, get your list of tasks that you need, know what you want to give your virtual assistant, and set that all up so that when you go to your virtual assistant, you already have it planned out. And if you already have it planned out and you know your budget, you're going to be able to find the perfect virtual assistant because you know what you're looking for and you know what you're going to expect from your virtual assistant. So make sure you don't make mistake number 2 and put yourself in the way where you're not prepared before you hire your virtual assistant. So mistake number 3 is protection. Now, I've seen this happen over and over where someone has posted in a Facebook group or something where they hired a virtual assistant and the virtual assistant disappeared or something like that. And basically what it comes down to is if you need to protect yourself. Now, what you're going to do to protect yourself is a couple things. First thing you're going to do is you make sure that your virtual assistant sends you a contract and you read it. You're going to make sure that the hourly rate or the package rate or the service rate, you're going to make sure that the hours of operation are on there. You're going to make sure that deadlines are on there, that disclosures are on there, that they are keeping your information protected, that they are signing a non-disclosure so that they're not going to share your information, that they're signing a non-compete so they don't take your clients from you. Make sure that all of these things are in the contract and that you sign it and you read it, and read it often. If you're not sure, if you give your client your virtual assistant work and you give them less than 24 hours, you could get stuck with an extra charge. So be sure you read about those extra charges as well, the rush charges. So read through your contract that your virtual assistant gives you. If they don't have a contract in place, move on to the next virtual assistant and go ahead and find someone who has their business in order, because if they don't have their business in order, they're not going to be able to help you keep yours in order. So make sure you find someone who's already got everything in place. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to sign up for this website called LastPass, and it's just right there on screen, LastPass.com, and there's a neat little video right there on the LastPass website that shows you how to set it up. And basically what it is a password saving place, and they save in your little vault all of your websites with your usernames and your passwords, and you can share those with people. So I have a LastPass, my clients have LastPass, and whenever they have something they need me to see, for example, sometimes you have to share your PayPal information so we can get codes that we need, or API numbers and things like that. So I don't want to know your passwords. I don't want to know your usernames. I want you to share it with me through LastPass. Is what happens is I click on that website that you've shared with me, and it automatically populates the username and password, but all I see are dots. So basically you shared it with me, I can access it, but I don't actually see what it is. And then when we are done doing whatever we do, say I built a website for you, you shared some passwords with me, I'm done with your website, then you go ahead and you just unshare those passwords. And then I don't have access to them anymore. And you can go into your vault, go to your shared passwords, and automatically just revoke those privileges. And then I no longer have access. And so that works out perfect. You don't have to try and remember what sites did I give her passwords for, and oh, now I need to go change all my passwords, and now this is going to mess up somebody else, and I have to make sure that somebody else has the right passwords. All of that's taken care of through LastPass.com. Not only that, but it saves you lots of time because it will automatically populate on your computer too. So when you pull up those websites that you go to often, you can just go ahead and it automatically populates and you can just log right in. It's amazing. It's the best thing ever. You don't have an affiliate with them because it's totally free. So that's even better. The other thing you're going to do to protect yourself is you're not going to give out any protected information like your credit card numbers. I never take a client's credit card number. If something needs to be purchased or signed up for, like some kind of membership or something, I always send my clients the information that they need. I tell them exactly what they need to do, and I let them sign up for it. I don't want to know your credit card number, and I'm sure you don't want to share your credit card number with people as well. So protect yourself, and you'll skip over mistake number 3. Let's go ahead with mistake number 4, which is follow-up. Now, I've heard this happen as well, where someone hired a virtual assistant to do something, and then like a week later, they find out that the virtual assistant didn't do it. Well, gosh, you just need to follow up. You need to make sure that your virtual assistant is doing what you want them to do. So a couple of tricks. The first thing, when you hire a virtual assistant, don't give them everything right up front. So don't say, I need these 15 things done by tomorrow. You're going to give them one thing. You're going to hire them for 1 to 2 hours. Skip over the packages until you know how you can work with that virtual assistant, that they're going to work for you, that they have the skills that you're looking for. And so you're going to hire them for 1 to 2 hours, and you're going to give them those few things like scheduling an email newsletter for you. And what you're going to do to follow up on that is that you're going to say, I want my email newsletter to go out on Tuesday mornings. So I want you to have it set up for me and send me a test email on Thursday. So on Thursday, you get that test email and you reply back and say, well, I'd like to make these few changes. And then they have all of Friday to make those changes. And Monday, they send you another test email. And then you know that it's going to be perfect. And then they let you know that they have it scheduled for Tuesday. And you're going to go check and make sure it's scheduled exactly the way that you want it scheduled. Same thing with social media. You can check and see that the posts are going out when you wanted them to go out. There's no typos. The images are there. Everything is set up correctly. There's everything that you give your virtual assistant, you should be able to check up on. If they're building a web page for you, if they're setting up your shopping cart for you. Once they do those things, go check and make sure that it was done. And as you start working more and more with your virtual assistant, you can give them more and more work. Excuse me. You can give them more and more work. And you can maybe check up on them a little less. But with me and my clients, I always like to make sure my clients are in on every loop, and I message them about everything. So go ahead and follow up on your virtual assistant. Don't give them everything at once, and just make sure that they're staying on track. The first sign of trouble, contact them immediately and say, I haven't heard from you for 24 hours. This was supposed to be done, yesterday. I haven't heard from you. Can you tell me what's going on? And then if you don't hear from them, you may want to just start considering finding out what's going on. And if you can't find out what's going on immediately, you may want to just find another virtual assistant. So don't let it drag on and on. Like I've seen people who say, I've been waiting for a month for my virtual assistant. Don't wait for a month. If you don't hear from them for 2 days, 2-3 days, go ahead and just send them an email that says, hey, you've broken the contract for this reason or whatever, and I'm going to go ahead and let you go, but let me know what happened. And then if there was a family emergency, it happens. And sometimes things happen and get in the way. Then you find out from them later that there was a real problem at home. Then you can work that out with them. But typically with my virtual assistants in my network, that's not going to happen to you. So if that is happening, don't wait too long. Don't put your business on hold. This is your business. This is your livelihood. So don't put that on hold. Do your follow-up and skip over mistake number 4. So keep an eye on your virtual assistant, especially at the beginning. Now, mistake number 5 is knowledge. And a lot of times this is just for the simple fact that there really is not a lot of information about virtual assistants. That's basically a general amount of information. So if you go to one site, you're going to hear one thing, and if you go to another, you're going to hear another thing, and you're going to hear that, this virtual assistant company does things one way. But the good news is that LeapfrogVANetwork.com has this amazing training vault. And we have a really great system set up here. Let me show you my website and show you how it works and how you can be prepared with that knowledge that you need to work with and hire the right virtual assistant. When you get to my site, this first page will go over a lot of the questions that you might have about hiring a virtual assistant. But what you're going to do is you can go ahead and read through this one. It does have all of this valuable information. And then you're going to go ahead and just click right here where it says clients, click here. And that's going to take you right into the client side of the site. And in the client side, you're going to find some very valuable information on this page. You're going to find out even more information about the network. But what I want you to take a look at right here is the tools and the training vault. That's the first two things. So here are the tools, and in the tools I have the tools that I use and I trust completely in my online business. And these are tools that you can use, that your virtual assistant most likely is using, so that you'll be familiar with them. So if you look right there at the top, I've got LastPass.com. Click right on there, you'll take you to that site. FreshBooks was a great accounting program a lot of virtual assistants are using, so that's how you'll get your bills from them and things like that. So go ahead and take a look at these tools. Find any tools that you need, just click on it. Go ahead and take advantage of those. The next part is the training vault. So what I did on the training vault is I answer all of your virtual assistant questions. And if you come on this page and you find that there's something that you have a question about, you can just hover down here where it says contact, and you can schedule a free 15-minute discovery session with me where I can talk to you about your business, your specific virtual assistant questions, and get those answered for you so that you can find the perfect virtual assistant for your business. How do you know if you're ready? How do you pay your virtual assistant? What questions do I need to ask? How do I get prepared? How do I know if my business is ready? All of these questions are answered here in the free training vault for you. The next place I want you to look is right here on the network. And when you go to the network, you're going to see the list of virtual assistants who I have already vetted. Some who've already worked for me, some who I have called all of their references. I have checked and worked with these virtual assistants, and I know them and I trust them completely, and they will take excellent care of you. So for free, you can just go ahead and click on any of these virtual assistants. They each have this find out more button. And when you click on that Find Out More button, what's going to happen is you're going to be taken directly to that virtual assistant's page. And on that virtual assistant's page, you are going to be able to contact that virtual assistant directly. You don't have to go through me. I don't get paid a commission. The virtual assistant doesn't have to pay me. This is just a service for you of pre-vetted virtual assistants that I know are going to serve you well. And you'll be able to see their email, contact them through their website. You'll see what time zone they're in. Some of them have their phone number. Some of them have their Skype name. Most of them have their social media as well. And you'll even see that I have done an interview with a lot of the virtual assistants. At some point, I'd like to be able to make sure all of them are done, where I interview them. You can see them talking. You can see that they're passionate about what they do and that they are very intelligent, professional women who are here and prepared. And then at the very bottom, you can definitely take a look at their skills, and you can see what they can do for you and what they specialize in. Now, pretty soon the site's going to have a search option as well, and that will also be under tools where you can, or the network, I'm not sure where, and that will be available to you where you can search for certain skills. The next thing I want you to look at is the RFP. The request for proposal, basically what you're going to do is you're going to fill out a form. It doesn't take very long, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, where you're going to go over, remember that list that you made for 2 weeks? You're going to go down that list and you're going to write down what platforms on this form you're going to write what platforms that you need your virtual assistant to know. You're going to write down the skills you need them to have. Maybe you've already decided you want someone in your time zone. Maybe you've already decided that you want someone with 2 virtual assistants, one for these skills and one for the other. So you're going to fill out that request for proposal, and I'm going to help you find, or we're going to post that on the job board that is only accessible to the virtual assistants in my network. And so only they will respond to those, and they will respond directly to you. Or if you'd like to remain anonymous, they can respond to me and I'll forward them on to you. And so then you can just go ahead and find the virtual assistant that works best for you, and you can just contact them directly and just go ahead and hire them. And I'm not involved at that point. The other option that a lot of people like to do is they will do this VA connection. And the VA connection is when you hire me to help you find the perfect virtual assistant. So basically what happens is you'll fill out a form. and the RFP, and then schedule a time to talk with me for half an hour where we talk about what your business needs are, and I answer any of your VA questions, and then I talk to you about the 3 virtual assistants on my network, or if I need to reach outside of my network and find someone with a specialty skill, I can do that too. Then I will make sure that you have 3 vetted virtual assistants who have the skills that you're looking for, and you can work with me, and I'll make sure that you get connected with the top 3, and then you can just interview them and go from there. Now, typically this service costs $47, but for my Ladies Who Lunch Network gals, I'm going to go ahead and offer that to you for $37, and $37 for half an hour of my time. Typically, I charge more than that, but I'm going to go ahead and do that for you gals. So what you're going to do is you're going to fill out this request for proposal, and at the bottom there's going to be a coupon code, and you're going to just type in LWL, and when I see that, I'll know to give you that discounted rate of $37. And you're going to fill out that form, you're going to schedule an appointment with me, I'm going to send you an invoice, and once that invoice is paid, then I'll go ahead and make sure that you're taken care of. Now, after I find those 3 virtual assistants for you, there's also another half-hour session after where I will work with you if you have questions, if you're having problems, if you wanted to have a different set of 3 virtual assistants. That's never happened, but I suppose it could. A different set of 3 virtual assistants contact you with their information, or maybe you want to build a virtual assistant team and you want to figure out how to do that, so you have someone working in different areas. So go ahead and fill that out and put LWL at the bottom. Now, I don't want to forget to share with you my 6th mistake that a lot of clients make. And you're going to kind of laugh when you hear what this is, but this is the number. I mean, it really should be in the top 5, but there's only 5 slots, but let's go ahead with number 6. And your bonus is communicate. Now, there's a fine line between too much communication and not enough communication. Like I said, I like to use Basecamp. It's one of my favorite platforms for project management, but there's also a lot of other options out there. But anytime I do something for my clients, I like to make a little note in there, this is done, or I'm waiting for this, or I'm going to have this done for you tomorrow. And the clients can also respond to that. They can put additional information in there. And then you have clients who want to send you 15 emails a day, or they want to talk to you on the phone every single day. So make sure that you communicate with your virtual assistant, that they know what you expect from them. But remember that their time is valuable just like yours. And make sure you talk to your virtual assistant and find out what they charge for certain types of communication. So for example, I have a free one-on-one once a week interview or chat with my clients every week. And for that 1 hour, I don't charge for that time. I actually think it's a little bit selfish. I do it mostly for me so that I can make sure that I'm connected with my clients. A lot of virtual assistants don't do that. If you call them and chat with them for an hour, even if you're just talking about, your kids or, fun stuff like that, you might be on the clock. So be sure you ask about that and you communicate with your virtual assistant enough that you know what's going on, they know what's going on, but respect their time and remember that their time is valuable as well. And hopefully they're doing the same with you. I have the same conversation with the virtual assistants when I'm telling them, when you're talking to your client, be sure that you treat their time as valuable and you respect it, and you keep it as limited as possible. So hopefully you found this helpful, and you'll go ahead and head on over to leapfrogvanetwork.com. You'll contact me for that personal VA connection, or you'll go ahead and just contact 1 or 2 other virtual assistants right on the network and just be right in touch with them directly. You don't even have to go through me, and find a virtual assistant that will work with you and your business. Or take a look at the training vault if you need to and get some more training, or set up a discovery session with me where I can have a chat with you and answer your personal individual questions for your specific business. Thanks so much for watching the top 5 mistakes virtual assistants, and I'll chat with you later.